Hello all, I'm Sai and you're watching the Book Dragon. In today's video, I'm bringing to you my answers for the questions in the Epic Reads book tag. The link for the original video as well as all the questions for the tag will be down in the description. So do go and check out the original video, and also don't forget to leave your answers in the comments below because I'd like to know them. So without any further ado, let's get into the questions right away. Question number 1. If you could invite one author and one of their fictional characters to tea, who would you invite and what would you serve them? Okay, the answer for this one is very easy for me. I'd invite Cassandra Clare, and the character I'd invite with her is Magnus Bane, okay, my darling. And I'm not a tea person, I'm a coffee person, so I'll serve them coffee and a nice South Indian Tamil snack, something like bhaji or bonda, because it'll be best with coffee. And who doesn't like coffee, right? One of the main reasons why I'd call these two people is that Magnus has lived for so many years and Cassie is the one who created him. I'd like to know more of Magnus's stories and how his childhood was and all those extra stuff like that, because he's one of my most favorite characters and she's one of my favorite writers right now, and she's one of the authors whom I'm very much into and I'm reading all her books. So I'd like to invite them and have a nice cup of coffee, and I'll serve them the snacks that I said. Question number 2. What book do you wish the author would write a prequel for? I thought a lot for this, and my answer for this one is Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. If you didn't know, this is one of my most favorite books from 2020, and it's by one of my favorite authors, who's Elizabeth Acevedo herself. It's a book written in verse about two girls, Camino and Yahaira, who have the same father, but they don't know that. And they live in different parts of the country. What happens in the beginning of the book is that their father, he dies in a plane crash, and in his funeral they are to meet and to develop a sister bond. Why I'd like to get a prequel for this one is because both these two characters, they are so different from each other, yet there is some common thread that's running between them due to the genetic line that they follow. And I'd like to know their childhood stories, mainly because I've seen Elizabeth Acevedo's writing in terms of conveying the thought processes of teenagers, but I do want to see how she writes while she's conveying the thoughts of children, that is people who are 13 and below in age. It'll be really beautiful because I know that she's a brilliant writer and she can do it in the best way, and this story will be best to have a prequel, if you ask me, of all the books that she's written right now. Question number 3. Name two characters not from the same book you think would make a good couple. I had to think a lot for this one also, and I came up with an answer with two very famous characters. The first character is Nikolai Lansau from the Grishaverse series, and the second one is Isabel Lightwood, my queen, from the Immortal Instrument series. Okay, I chose these two characters in specific mainly because they've had to deal with a lot of things just as children itself. Okay, not even as young adults, just as children, and how they hold everything together despite keeping all those things within their mind and keeping that strong demeanor. I just love those two characters for that itself. Also, they are so sassy, so sarcastic at many moments, and one thing which I just love the most of these two characters is that the amount of self-love that they give themselves is just so high, and they show others how to respect them by the way they respect themselves. I know how to respect myself, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to love myself as they do love themselves, and I do think that two people who are like that will be a great couple. Yeah, Simon and Isabel are my OTP, yet for this question I'd like to pair up Nikolai with Isabel. Question number 4. If you ran into your favorite author on the subway and could say only one sentence to them, who is it and what would it be? Okay, if you didn't know, my most favorite author as of now is Leigh Bardugo, and that is this specific sentence which I'll tell to her, which is a combination of two different things. I'll say thank you for the Grishaverse and all the characters that she created, mainly because the characters that she's written, they are all traumatized in some way or the other, and I'm sure that each and every character that is reflecting PTSD in her books are reflections of many people who live across the world, and that's one of the main reasons I think many people are able to relate with her book and they love her characters and her stories a lot. How to say, despite her writing skills and how gorgeously she writes her prose, the main thing which holds everything together in her books for me is the characters and what they represent and who they represent in that fantasy world. It was just so vivid to read each and every character every time, and that's the one sentence which I tell to her: thank you so much for the Grishaverse and your characters. Question number 5. What book made you a reader and why? Okay, it's a very simple answer, and I'm sure that most of you all know. The book which made me a reader is obviously Harry Potter. Okay, I've been a reader even before reading Harry Potter, but I've become an avid reader after reading Harry Potter only, and isn't it obvious the reason? Okay, I love fantasy, I love magic, and I just love to read about worlds and things that don't exist in the real world, and it was just so much fun, and it had a lot of things which I loved, and I was also able to learn and relate with a lot of things that were put in the series, and that's one of the main reasons why it made me a reader. Question number 6. Incendio, your bookshelf just caught on fire. What one book would you save? Okay, first of all, this is a very, very mean question to ask to any book lover and reader out there, because I don't even like to break the spines of my books or dog ear them. How can I just see them burn? Okay, but since it's just a question, I'm going to give an answer. If I'm allowed to cheat for this answer, I'd say that I'll save all my signed books from the shelves. But since it specifies that there's only one book that I can save, I'll save my signed copy of Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. Okay, it's the latest, no, not the latest. It's one of the latest books which I received as a signed copy. I ordered it as a normal copy. It was available as the last copy when I ordered it on Amazon, and while I received it, I didn't even expect it was a really good edition, and it was very, very low in price. Also, the best of all things was that it was signed. Okay, I was at a mentally very bad stage during that particular time of last year, and that book just lifted up my mood to many, many levels, because that series was one which I was very much into. Okay, the Shadow of the Chronicles was one which I was very much hardcore into during that time, and me receiving that book at that particular instant as a signed copy just boosted me in many, many ways, and that's one of the main reasons why I'll save it rather than any other books in my shelf. Question number 7. Which dystopian world would you want to live in if you had to choose one? Why? Okay, generally I don't read that many dystopian books, or I don't like to even watch anything that's very much apocalyptic, because some things, when they are so negative, they can just turn my mood off, so I don't gravitate towards such stuff. But I've read only the Hunger Games as a dystopian, and I'm not going to select that world also, because it just sucks. Okay, I think generally dystopia just sucks, right? The world sucks, that's why it's dystopia. But if I have to give an answer for sure, I can say that if it's a dystopian fantasy, I'll prefer to be in that world, mainly because even though the world sucks, there will be at least magical creatures and something fantastical happening in the world always. Okay, though it's good or bad, it will be fantastical and it will be magical in some way or the other, and that's one of the main reasons why I prefer a dystopian fantasy world compared to any other normal dystopian world. Question number 8, the last question. What is your most epic read of all time? The answer for this one is also very simple for me. Okay, of all the books that I've read until now, the most epic that I've read so far is the A Song of Ice and Fire or Game of Thrones series by George R. R. Martin. Okay, though it's huge in scope, each and everything about that series is epic. Okay, each and every aspect of fantasy, if you ask me, that I consider is very epic in that series, and that's the only reason that I'm choosing that over all the other books that I've read so far. I'm sure that in the future it will change, because I have plans to read the Stormlight Archive, I want to read the Wheel of Time, I want to read the Lord of the Rings, and there are multiple series. Okay, even the entire Cosmere universe, I want to read all those fantasy books, and I'm sure that once I end up reading them, there might even be new favorites and new epic reads of all time for me in the future. But as of now, it's just Game of Thrones. And yeah, that's it for today. And if you did enjoy watching today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. If you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel, because I publish new videos every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.